Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop. What up, y'all? K&B, the sexy ninja, in the place to be for C Plus Studios and a paper Saber universe. This is the Sexy Ninjacast, and some news just dropped right now. James Gunn and Peter Safran's their vision for the DC universe in film and television. The big shock came after Black Adam came out and the fallout with The Rock, and how, you know, Henry Cavill is not going to be going forward as Superman. All the controversy that was created because of that. But I feel like the DC universe, the DCEU, whatever you want to call it, Snyderverse, it's been in trouble for a very, very long time. And I think we need somebody, like in these two gentlemen here, to bring in the reins. And I'm all for it. And they just announced Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. So this is their vision. We already knew that James Gunn already said, yeah, Henry Cavill's not going to be Superman, because the movie he's writing is called Superman Legacy, slated for the date of July 11th, 2025. Where it's going to focus on a younger Superman. And that's why that's why Henry Cavill isn't going to come back to the role, because James Gunn wants to go into, younger versions of these characters so they can go moving forward, they can live on and stuff like that. And one of the films that was announced too, that kind of like, I was like, interesting. The Brave and the Bold, a story with Bruce / Batman and Damian Wayne, his son, but it's not going to be Pattinson as Batman. This is going to be a different version, an Elseworld movie, if you want to call it that. But it's a movie called The Brave and the Bold, and I was like, okay, I'm interested. I would love to see a live action Damian Wayne on the big screen. No Pattinson. Who else is going to fill the role of Bruce Wayne itself? And don't worry, the Batman universe is fine. It's okay. We can't, that was one of the things that everyone was like, oh shit, the Batman, Pattinson's out, everyone was talking. But no, slated for October 3rd, 2025, the Batman Part 2. It's going to be separate from what James Gunn is doing. It's it's its own thing, which I'm okay with. Let's keep these own things. And this year we have a lot of movies that are just going to be offshoots, and then we're moving forward. We got Shazam, Fury of the Gods coming up. We got the Blue Beetle movie. We got Aquaman. We got TheFlash. And this isn't part of James Gunn's and Peter Safran's vision. This is what I'm reading off the piece of paper right here, right now. Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. I like the chapter thing, and I'm a sucker for those sort of things, just because it's such a comic book esque. Like, here we go. This is our story we're telling in our book. So Superman Legacy's up. I'm interested to see a younger Superman. I feel like Superman has been mishandled here and there. I did like Henry Cavill Superman a lot, but once again, we got Man of Steel, and then we had BVS, where he was hardly anything, and then dies, and then he comes back in the Justice League towards the end. It was like, there was really no meat on the bones, and people who were bitching and complaining and all of this and that, I'm just like, where were you then when these movies were coming out? Because I remember when BVS came out, one of the biggest box office first weekend, and the second weekend it fell off to obscurity, and that's when this whole DC universe became in trouble. And there's this one dude that comes around, I see on TikTok or whatever, and they're like, he predicted it. If BVS fails, it's the end of the DCEU from the Snyderverse perspective and everything like that. Then the fight for the Snyder Cut and everything. Yes, but it's just time to move on. And that's me. You can go back and listen to other podcasts we did on the Snyderverse. I'm so happy we got Zack Snyder's Justice League movie. I'm so glad that, we got to see his vision over the Justice League version of that movie itself, and nothing to Zack Snyder. I'm glad we saw his vision, and I love BVS, the Ultimate Edition. Like, me and Doug have talked about that movie over and over. We have done movie commentary over it. You know, it's just one of those films where the Ultimate Edition is one of the movies that should have came out first and not the theatrical cut, because the theatrical cut, a lot of things do not make sense in that movie. Then when you get the full version, the 3 hour, you're like, oh, okay, now I kind of get it. And then going back to these movies that, you know, everything was going everywhere. Aquaman was just trying to be Wakanda, you know, Black Panther but in the ocean and stuff like that. Like, Atlantis looked like Wakanda, and you know, there was just so many mismanaged steps. Like, I remember I got excited when Suicide Squad, we got to see Ben Affleck's Batman and Ben Affleck's Batman itself, and the movie, you know, everything just kept on fumbling and fumbling and fumbling, while Marvel is out there. They're on movie 1000, TV shows 1000, ruling ruling the industry with all these films and TV shows and stuff like that. And personally, for me, as much as I do love the Marvel Universe, I'm a DC guy. 100%. Green Lantern, baby. That's my jam. Batman, that's my jam. These characters I connect with more. And, you know, so when I get people who come at me like, oh yeah, the DC universe sucks, you know, blah 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 blah, I'm like, okay, well, have you read into DC? I connect with these characters more. I remember sitting here with Colin, and I was going through some comic books and showing him some stuff, and I was like, yeah, there's this, there's that, you know, but DC, man, like, I connect with those characters: Superman, Wonder Woman, even the obscure Booster Golds, Blue Beetle, you know, the Justice Society of America, Alan Scott's Green Lantern. All these things that I love is inside the DC universe, and now that it's in good hands, in my beliefs, I feel like it's in good hands. Seeing the slate and this roster of what is going to be in Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, I'm ready. Superman Legacy, they announced Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I wonder if they're going to keep the same Supergirl from the Flash movie. I hope so. But also, too, we haven't seen her performance, and everything I'm hearing about the Flash movie, it's gotten great audience reactions, everything that looks right. I just saw the pop figure lineup. My brother sent me this. He texted me. He's like, hey, do you want to see the pop figure lineup for the Flash? And I was like, yeah. And he sent me, and I was like, oh, fuck me sideways. Take my money, God damn it. You know, a few things, a few spoilers within that reveal itself, you know, and this, I'm talking completely spoiler, so if you don't want anything spoiled for you, you can stop right here. But in the image itself, they showed General Zod, which was a rumor for a very long time. Of course, Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck's Batman, a possible Superman. I didn't see Superman on the box, so I don't know if maybe Superman's cameo was taken out. But this movie has so much, they're going all over the place with this film. They're gonna have Christopher Reeve's Superman, from what was being rumored. Adam West potentially is Batman. Of course, Ben Affleck's Batman. Michael Keaton's Batman. We're going all across the DC universe itself, and maybe too, this is the last time we will see Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. This is the last time we'll see Ben Affleck as Batman. So for me personally, this movie is very important in that sense of, I'm saying goodbye to these characters again, but we're gonna get them reintroduced up here in this whole Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, and I'm okay with that. But I'm really excited for the Flash movie, even with all the Ezra Miller craziness and stuff like that. I'm going to this movie watching the Flash, Barry Allen, and there's on the pop figure box, there's a Dark Flash that's going to be the main villain of this movie. I wish it was Reverse Flash, but I'll take a Dark Flash. Sure, let's see what we got here. But if it's getting already great audience reactions, bring it on. Another movie, The Brave and the Bold, Bruce and Damian, like I said, but no Pattinson. Seeing that relationship develop on the big screen, I'm like, oh, fuck. Does this mean we're going to see Talia? Ra's al Ghul? Is this going to be a story of where Batman is first introduced to Damian and Batman and Son? It's such a great storyline where, you know, Damian is raised by the League of Assassins and everything like that, and is trained by Ra's al Ghul to take on the mantle after Ra's al Ghul dies. So the potential of this movie itself is on a whole nother level of, like, what are we going to see? More Ra's al Ghul and Batman fighting, Talia being introduced, and I'm not, no offense to the Talia in The Dark Knight Rises, that wasn't Talia al Ghul. Like, that version of that character, I was waiting for, and then when they finally said that she was coming in Dark Knight Rises, not what I expected. Worst death scene ever. And she's like, hey, I'm dead. Yeah, so big potential there. The Brave and the Bold. Next thing, Swamp Thing. He's so huge in the DC universe itself within the comic books. I know my brother's probably shitting his pants, my little brother, because he loves Swamp Thing. He loves monsters. He loves these characters that are just so out of the box, and he's really into like kaijus and stuff like that. So Swamp Thing was always his jam, man. And seeing Swamp Thing kind of get some love, and I just watched Justice League Dark Apocalypse War with um with uh with Swamp Thing taking out all these, Swamp Thing. I can't wait to just see the visuals of Swamp Thing and what Swamp Thing's gonna do, because they had that TV show that came out for a little bit when DC Universe was a thing. It was this app upon itself where you got comic books and you got the movies. That's where we got Titans. That's where we got Harley Quinn and this and that. Now it's kind of merged into HBO Max. Then I want to see what direction we're gonna go to there, because there's some TV shows that were announced, and I know that HBO Max is going to connect with Discovery Plus. So Discovery Plus and HBO Max are going to come and make a baby together, and we shall see what that happens. And how does the DC universe fall into that? What does James Gunn and Peter Safran's plan for that universe when those two things emerge? Is it still going to be the main focus? Because, a lot of this, as much as excitement it is, do you remember like when BVS was announced? They announced a Cyborg movie. They announced a Green Lantern movie. They announced a Lobo movie. They announced a K&B, the Sexy Ninja movie. There was this huge roster of things on this wall. I remember seeing it on a Comic-Con panel. I believe it was at San Diego Comic-Con. And they're like, hey, everybody, this universe is coming. It's coming together. Get ready. And BVS tanks. Boom, gone. Justice League has all its controversy in the back. There's a great book on the behind the scenes of that you should check out. And everything was just falling apart. Wonder Woman did great. Wonder Woman did fantastic when it came out. It set records, and then the second movie was lit, and the second movie came out, and not many people liked that movie. Even though I do really like Wonder Woman 84. It's a little weird with the plot with Steve, but I did like the movie, and it has Pedro Pascal. You can't go wrong with Pedro. Pedro Pascal is having one hell of a great year. I'm not a video game person by any means or any stretch of the imagination, so I ain't gonna pretend or front on that end. We're watching The Last of Us, the first 2 episodes. I was just like, yeah, it's sort of zombie, but everyone's like, no. Every fucking person I talk to, and I'm like, not really into this whole zombie thing, man. And they're like, no, it's fungus, fucking fungus zombies, So I'm like, all right, calm down. But that 3rd episode that dropped is causing a lot of waves. If I don't know shit about the video game, but seeing that love story unfold was fucking fantastic. And it's probably one episode I'll probably watch over and over again because it was so beautifully done. And I'm going off track. Swamp Thing is up next. The Authority, because James Gunn loves obscure fucking characters. We got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 coming, and I know that movie's just gonna rip our insides apart. So the Authority movie, is a group here that gets the job done anyway, anyhow. Superman just had a interaction with him last year in the comic books and everything. A huge special with Batman. So I'm interested to see what the Authority movie is going to set up, where we're going to go with it. And that's the slate for movies so far. So we got Superman Legacy, July 11th, 2025. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, The Authority, and The Batman Part 2, October 3rd, 2025. So far, pretty much the only thing we really know is Superman's being written by James Gunn. The Batman, of course, is all in Matt Reeves' hands, so everything else doesn't have a director. Everything else doesn't have a writing team that they announced for. This is just the first chapter and the outline and ideas of where everything is going. Now going to the television side of this, Paradise Lost. And Paradise Lost is going to focus on Themyscira and before Wonder Woman was born. So we're going to, the early days with her mom as queen, ruling Themyscira, the island, and everything like that. And I'm like, I'm curious. There's a show called Krypton that I actually checked out finally, and it was actually pretty good. And they canceled it after like a season or two because that's what CW, I think it was on CW, right? CW was on such a great track record with all these shows, and they just kind of just filtered away. I remember following TheFlash, like religiously, and Arrow and all that, and then I had a kid and my TV schedule just went right out the fucking window. So, but I heard, I don't know, maybe people can drop the comments below. Should I catch up on that universe? Just to catch up on the universe. I've heard such great things about Supergirl, especially after the first season. You know, when it goes right back, because I think they started on CBS or something like that. They started on a different network, kind of like how Constantine was on a different network. Then the CW was like, "Hey, come over here. We'll do better for you," and stuff like that. But Titans is another show that I know Big Daddy is a huge fan of. He keeps telling me about it, but I don't know why, but ever since that first line, "Fuck Batman," I was like, whoa, DC is just like, look at us, we can curse, fuck you. But I've heard nothing but great things. What happens to Titans? That's a good thing. Will the Harley Quinn show carry on? Is that part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's vision? Those shows itself, Superman and Lois, everything that's on CW. The Flash is on its final season. What else is there? Are we going to continue that route? Are we gonna put a nice stamp on it because they canceled Stargirl? Still haven't seen the second season. I love the first season of Stargirl. Will we see a Justice Society? That's one of the big things. Was one of the big draws for me in the Black Adam movie was Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Cyclone, granddaughter of Red Tornado, and everything like that. I was like, oh baby, the Atom Smasher, and that was it. I was like, no other teases, no, we don't see the table. This is the JSA, anything, a lantern in the background, anything and nothing all at once. So, Paradise Lost. I know I'm getting on my tangents, but I'm just excited. This is some good news if you're a DC fan or if you're just a comic book movie fan and you like going to the movies and seeing these comic book movies with this announcement with DC Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. And I like the fact that it's entangling not just superheroes but also the monsters aspect, especially with Swamp Thing. So Paradise Lost is a show coming up, a prequel show if you will, but not really. It's its own thing. Booster Gold. Fuck yes. I don't know if it's going to have any ties with that one Booster Gold movie that they were trying to do that was in development hell for a very, very long time, because Booster Gold is from the future. He's just such a great, funny character. And the fact that he's going to get his own show, I'm excited for. Let's see some time travel here. He wants to go. Booster Gold likes to go back in time. He wants to rewrite history and be the greatest superhero of all time. Not Superman, not Batman, himself. And he sort of has this kind of has this awesome little robot sidekick. And I was just like, Booster Gold, man, that's some shit that's gonna be fucking fun, because we're gonna see different periods probably of the DC universe, and or Booster fucking up and him trying to refix what he did and everything like that. So that's cool. Other things they announced, Creature Commandos. I was like, Creature Commandos, okay. Well, once again, Gods and Monsters. I'm on board. Another monster, Amanda Waller, having her own show. Will Viola Davis stay in that role? I hope to God, because Viola Davis, I love you. I really enjoyed her, Amanda Waller, the vicious and ruthlessness of that character and what she brought to that character. It's gold upon gold, and that's one of the best parts of the David Ayer's Suicide Squad movie. So I'm really glad that they kept her going, and I still get chills from that after scene with Ben Affleck's Bruce. He's like, hey, I got my own team, you got your team, you gotta tell your team to fucking stop. So I wonder if we're gonna what about Peacemaker? Is Peacemaker part of this new chapter in James Gunn? Is season 2 gonna be a thing? Will John Cena's Peacemaker make it through this, or will that get kind of integrated into the Amanda Waller show, where we're going to see the Suicide Squad? Is another Suicide Squad movie on the horizon? What happens to Harley Quinn? And that's the thing that's so interesting, is we even have that Joker movie that's going to have Joaquin Phoenix, and it's going to have Lady Gaga as Harley. What happens to Harley from the past universe, played by Margot Robbie? What happens to her? So yeah, and I do like the fact though, like everything. The only thing I wish that James Gunn had stopped was let the Batgirl movie come out. You know, Brendan Fraser is having such a tremendous year up in Hollywood with the Oscars, The Whale, you know, delivering a great performance in that film and this and that. The Batgirl movie, you know, Michael Keaton being in that movie, and everything I'm hearing about it, I wish James Gunn was like, hey, let's put Batgirl on the slate. Let's just give the fans the Booster Gold movie, the Flash movie, give them Aquaman, you know, or are we going from here? Well, Jason Momoa continue as Aquaman. Will Ezra Miller continue as the Flash? You know, and Jason Momoa came out of, if you follow him on Instagram or his stories or anything, he's like, I just got a meeting with the James Gunn and DC and holy shit, you know, good news guys is coming soon and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what does that mean? Because rumors was like, he was going to stop playing Aquaman and we're going to move him over to being Lobo. And I was like, that is so much better. And like, I'm not hating on Jason Momoa. He just didn't fit Aquaman for me. And I just didn't really care for that movie. And the fact too that, what's her face? I can't remember. Amber Heard as Mira, even because Mira is such a fucking badass, and you know, with all the shit that happened with her, and I tried to watch Aquaman the other day, and I see her, and I'm like, yeah. Hopefully she gets recast, or where we're gonna go there, because I would like another shot at the Aquaman universe and seeing Atlantis and seeing everything. Keep Orm and keep everybody, you know. So this is a big deal because everything and anything. What's going to be, what's not going to be, where do we go with these actors and everything. And the Flash movie, I feel, is going to be the big send-off, the big goodbye to that universe, and then we move on. Another thing that's been in development, the Green Lantern. After the big movie with Ryan Reynolds comes out, I was in denial after that movie came out for a very, very long time. You can ask all my friends. I was in denial because I remember seeing that movie. I was so excited. I went to that movie. I had my Green Lantern bag. I had my Green Lantern shirt, Green Lantern hat, Green Lantern socks, butt plug, anything you could think of. I had Green Lantern on me with my ring and everything too. And I was ready. And at the end of that movie, I was like, Sinestro, yeah, that was cool, yeah, and you know, yeah, guys, that was a good movie, right, looking at everybody like, hey, right, guys, you know, it's kind of scratching myself, like that was a good movie, and it's a movie I turn on every once in a while just to put on, and there's always little things I forget, like Amanda Waller's character's in there, but it's not Amanda Waller, you know, so. Big news coming out of this, man. DC Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. Once again, here's the roster slate. Here's the movies. Superman Legacy, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, The Brave and the Bold, Swamp Thing, The Authority, The Batman Part 2. This is what's upcoming next after we see Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Will the Shazam universe carry on? Because I do love that first Shazam movie. I think that first Shazam movie is just mwah. You know, The Flash, of course, is that the end of Ezra Miller? It is the end, essentially, for the Snyderverse itself, but is that the end of Ezra Miller as the Flash, or do we just move on from there? Because everyone's saying, like, get Grant Gustin, he needs to be the Flash, you know, or do we just move on? There's been so many Batmans, there's been so many Supermans, so I'm okay with recasting if recasting needs to happen, okay? TV shows wise, Paradise Lost, Booster Gold, Creature Commandos, Amanda Waller, the Green Lantern Corps show itself, which is very exciting. There's so many tales you can put in there. And if anybody, you know what I would love to see? I would love to see the Green Lantern animated series come back. It did 2 seasons, and damn, that show was so good, and they got canceled. It's probably some of the best Green Lantern that's out there. There's a lot of other Green Lantern animated movies that are out there, but the Green Lantern animated series, you know, you're introduced to some new characters. You get, like, I cried at the end of that show. Like, I remember just bawling like a baby because the show developed all these characters so well. And you got to check it out. The Green Lantern animated series. It's a fun ride, and now I'm excited to see where they go with the Green Lantern Corps. Now I was thinking to myself when I was like, okay, can we see the Sinestro War? Can we see the fall of Hal Jordan? Him becoming Parallax. Can we finally see Kyle Rayner in live action form? I'm looking at my Green Lanterns right now. John Stewart, seeing Guy Gardner, seeing Kilowog. Seeing the Guardians. There's so much on that table. It's too much to handle in my brain right now because I am frothing at the mouth of this whole thing. The DC Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. Bring it on, baby. You got my money, James Gunn and Peter Safran. Take it all. I wonder too. I just thought about this with this Superman Legacy movie. I wonder. So if he's writing it, there was a bunch of rumors and about J.J. Abrams and Bad Robots Company developing a new Superman movie and talking about Michael B. Jordan playing Superman, but it's a different Superman. I wonder if that's off the table now. I wonder if that's like, James Gunn sat with J.J.'s like, hey, that's a really cool idea, but let's reimagine this character and let's do it. Maybe they're working together, maybe they're not. James Gunn had to make a lot of decisions, a lot of cuts, and he got a lot of slack for it. And it was funny too when this whole thing came out. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, James Gunn's gonna destroy the DC universe. Oh, the Snyderverse and this and that." And I've had my saying. I've had my fill. If you want to check out old episodes, I think we've covered. Me and Doug, we've done movie commentary for Man of Steel. We've done for BVS, the Ultimate Edition. We've also done it for Wonder Woman. I believe we did the Justice League. We never got to Zack Snyder's Justice League. But we did an Aquaman. I know we did an Aquaman, and that's lost in obscurity out there. But there is a great Aquaman review we did. It's called Pop Flicks Aquaman. We almost died seeing Aquaman, and this was months before Avengers Endgame. And we're like, please, Lord, because it was a big snowstorm. We're like, please, Lord, don't let Aquaman be the last movie we see. And that's it. That's all. It's just going to be a great year for DC fans, Marvel fans as well. We got Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania coming up. We have so much on the table, and I'm just excited. We're living in good times, folks. There was times where there was like 2 to 3 years between each movie, each Batman movie, the Superman movie, and everything like that. And I'm excited to see where we go and the possibilities of a Lex Luthor. I'm like, who can play Lex now? And I've seen some potential names being thrown out there. And I've always wanted a Bryan Cranston to be a Lex Luthor. I always thought that was just a perfect match. Maybe he's just a little bit too old now. Maybe we just go a different route, a different direction. Also, where does the Batman fall in all this? Well, is the Batman Part 2 going to be an end of that? Or will we see Matt Reeves finish out his trilogy? That goes into the Penguin show. That goes into all these other Matt Reeves adventures in the Batman universe itself. Because they were talking about an Arkham show. They were talking about this. After the Batman came out, there's like, all right, this is where we're going in a direction with the Batman. And with a movie like The Brave and the Bold being on the table, being a story about Bruce and Damian, you need a little bit of an older Batman, and Pattinson is on his own journey. And I like the fact that we can just say, yeah, it's an Elseworld film, and that's all it's come down to now in the DC universe, because after Snyder's verse kind of just fell and failed and all around, they started making these movies more one shots. Aquaman had a semi-tie more in dialogue than anything about him with the Justice League. Wonder Woman itself, it was just basically its own origin story with a mix of Bruce in there. You didn't hear Ben Affleck's Bruce. All these movies just sort of became one shots. And now we're now in this whole slate of films and in this roster, now we're gonna get a little bit more of a connection. Will we see what shall we see? And I remember like James Gunn teasing, and he's such a tease. He rubs the tip, and I'm like, oh yeah, James, what's next? He's like, nah, and then he'll just like randomly tweet out a picture of some Batman books by Grant Morrison, or he'll text out Kingdom Come, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, is that chapter 2 or is that chapter 3? What's the next Justice League movie? And that's the thing. There's no Wonder Woman on this slate. You know, we got Superman, Supergirl, Batman, Swamp Thing, The Authority, and that's it for movie verse wise in that universe with this chapter. Not the Batman, because Batman's its own thing. Robert Pattinson's and stuff like that. I want to see more of Andy Serkis' Alfred. So where does everything fall into place? And are we building towards the Justice League movie? Is a Justice League movie going to be in Chapter 3? What are we still going down the line and like reintroducing these characters? Is Wonder Woman going to be a factor into this? Because we need the Trinity. And even if they did a Trinity movie, that would be fucking awesome. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman all teaming up together to save some crazy shit that's going on in the world. Well, so this is just it. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what James Gunn and Peter Safran has in store for us. So tell me what you think. Drop your comments below. Are you happy about this? Is there a movie that you're really excited for? I'm excited for the Batman Part 2. I just rewatched the Batman, and it's such a fantastic film. I always complained it was a little too long, but after 2 to 3 weeks off, sitting on my ass, I kind of just sat through those 3 hours, and I was purely satisfied. I was stinky and everything afterwards just because I love the Batman movie. Do I love it more than The Dark Knight? No, but, it's sort of unfair to even ask that question because I already see kids like, the Batman's so much is the superior Batman movie. I'm like, yeah, to each their own. To each their own. So out of this slate of movies though, for James Gunn's Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, I would say I'm excited for it all. I want to see where we're going. I want to see Swamp Thing. I want to see The Authority. I want to see this Bruce and Damian relationship, and let's get into the heartbreaking aspect of their relationship, and Damian just being a little shit and Bruce trying to be a father, and I want to see him going to Alfred to be like, hey, this father shit's really hard, and Alfred's gonna be like, well, yes, it is, with your ass. Supergirl, I'm excited, big, and I can't wait to see Supergirl in the Flash movie and what she brings to the table. Hopefully this is her movie. If not, okay, but I've heard nothing but good things about her Supergirl in the Flash movie. So a big slate, big year. Shazam! Fury of the Gods is next. I can't wait to see that. So Superman Legacy, another version of Superman. Who's gonna play Superman? I'm thinking in my head with all young actors and everything like that. And I saw someone say Zac Efron, but I was like, I think he passed that young actor aspect. Or, they were even talking about Zac Efron for Green Lantern. Hell, they were even talking about Tom Cruise being Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and him getting his... There was the rumors of Tom Cruise getting into the Green Lantern universe and him building it. Now it's under one roof. Hopefully under one roof, James Gunn, Peter Safran, they're like, we're the head of the table in this. We're the tribal chiefs of the DC universe. So, once again, tell me what you think. Drop those comments below. Which movie, which show are you excited for? I'm so excited for that Green Lantern Corps show. I just been waiting too damn long for something from that universe. And something from, just seeing my boy Hal, Kyle, John, everybody in the Green Lantern Corps, Salak. So bring it on. Oa, come on, baby. We only have so much time to go, and seeing the Manhunters. Oh my God, I just thought about seeing the Manhunters. Oof. Okay, tell me what you think. What are you excited for? Drop those comments below. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you don't want to see. Tell me if you hate this list that's just been dropped. Tell me what you love. Anything you want, drop it in the comments below. But like and subscribe. Share it with your grandma. Share it with your grandpa. Share it with the bum down at Walmart. I am KMB, the Sexy Ninjas, and remember, just remember, stay sexy, ninjas. Whoop, whoop! Welcome to the Wicked